It's not really fair what I've done to you, throwing you into projects without giving you enough fundamentals in order to help prepare you to succeed. Now, there's a whole bunch of fonts in the background here. Some of them have these little feet on them. See these little extenders on the end, even when they're just round circles like that? These are called serifs, S-E-R-I-F, okay? And a serif is the little kicker on the end. This type of font, without those little kickers, without those serifs, is called sans serif, S-A-N-S, which means without. I think it's Latin. So it's about pairing fonts. Let me give you a little cheat sheet to start with. If you start with a serif font, and let's just call this a fancy font because it has these little feet on it. Okay, it got dressed up. Call it a fancy font. And this goes for script fonts and all kinds of out of the ordinary fonts, which are display, and there's different words for all these different classifications of fonts. But for right now, think of fancy and simple. The simple fonts, the sans serif fonts, can be paired with one another. You can find good font pairings between two simple fonts. And the simple fonts can be paired with serif fonts. However, when the serif fonts happen, the fancy fonts, you can't match two fancy fonts together. It doesn't work well. Like every rule in design, there are exceptions, and there are ways to break these rules intelligently. But let me just urge you to stick with learning the rules before you try to break the rules. So go ahead and play this for a while, and you pick a font to start with. Read, look at this. It tells you information. Learn a little bit about font basics. Pick one. And then how do you want to do this? Okay? Hey, look, be careful. Okay? There's lots of clues here. So I'm just going to pick, let's say, Embrace the Other. And we have a nice sans serif font here. And you look over here and it's, well, will this work? Will this? I don't think so. Those don't look too compatible. Okay? What happens if we pick this one? You get a little comparison. You get some examples of what's going on. You can look at these and think, do these go together? Could these go together? Could they look good? And if so, you go ahead and say, yeah, they do. Send them on a date. Or I think I want to try this again. See what happens. Hey, congratulations, you've made a successful match. And then it gives you an example here of how you can pair those fonts to make them look good. Spend some time, learn how to do this, and experiment a bit with this. You can run out of options in 10 or 15 minutes here, but it'll give you a start, a little foundation to work with so you know that pairing fonts, picking two serif fonts, two fancy fonts is a bad idea. And if you have anything fancy, you got to turn to simple as your other option. Make sense? All right, have some fun and then return to your design project and pair your fonts with a little heart, trying to create romance between two fonts in your design. And remember, only two. Two's the max.